Let's go down to Jerome's. So the Minnesota Vikings and the other 31 squadrons around the NFL have to be down to the 53-man rooster limit by 3 p.m. Central Time today, the only time zone that matters. And there's a new rule in terms of the injured reserve rules this year, where at 53-man cutdowns, instead of having the player be on the 53 initially and then placing them on IR, and potentially bringing them back during the year, up to two players at 53-man cutdowns can be placed on injured reserve designated for return and not count against the initial 53, so saves teams a little bit of a numbers crunch, and the Vikings have taken advantage of both of those spots. Yesterday, it was Dalton Risner, placed on IR designated for return. Has been dealing with a back injury since the beginning of camp, and also this morning, reportedly Gabriel Murphy, the UDFA edge rusher from UCLA, will be placed on that list as well. Now, Murph, they obviously like a lot the pride of UCLA here, as he's going to be in the NFL, sacking Caleb Williams many, many times. But the pride of North Texas took his talents along with his twin brother to UCLA, was fantastic last year in Westwood with Latu and his bro. 16 tackles for loss, 8 sacks, and was just getting after it. Like, he went undrafted because he doesn't check the boxes physically in terms of measurables, but I mean, the Vikings got themselves a good one, and they backed it up by giving him $225K guaranteed as a UDFA. Now, he's been dinged up throughout most of training camp, but he impressed during OTAs and the beginning of camp. So obviously, they wanted to keep him protected and in the fold. They didn't want to put him on injured/waive, so using this IR designated for return spot is smart. Plus, taking advantage of these two spots could help free up some room on the 53 for some of the other guys like Bo Richter or Anjakar II. Or whatever happens there. But also, I mean, it's a good problem to have. Like, the Vikings just have a ton of edge rushers. Like, Owen Porter got waived yesterday, and hopefully he comes back to their practice squad, but we'll see. But so the two spots on IR designated for return are spoken for. Also, in some transaction news, TJ Hockenson, who's recovering from his torn ACL and MCL because of dirty KBJSF. So even though he had looked good during training camp, working off on the side, the smart move, the conservative move, keeping him on the PUP list. So he'll miss the first 4 games of the season as well. Now, again, it is smart, and I respect what Kevin O'Connell does, even though it can be a little bit frustrating at times for the fans as well as I'm sure for the player, where they're not going to put you back on the field until you're 100%. So that goes to Justin Jefferson, his hamstring last year, Brian O'Neill coming back from his partially torn Achilles, and Hockenson will be the same. Now, all 3 of these guys will be eligible to return after the first 4 games, so they could potentially return for the international trip to London week 5 against the Jets, but also there's no maximum on when they potentially could and should return. But with Hockenson's a stud, man. Like, he's a top 3 tight end, and he's not 3. If Dirty Kirby Joseph didn't interject himself last year into the narrative, Hockenson probably would have had a 100 and 1,000 season, which is dynamite, man, which is fantastic. But recapping the Vikings reserve list moves here. So Risner and Murphy, IR designated for return. They don't count against the 53. They do have to miss the first 4 games. Same thing with Hockenson. Same mechanics, just different name with the PUP list. So the Vikings, they save 3 53-man roster spots on guys that and give them an ability to heal and get to 100%. And then you'll just deal with that problem when you get there. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings make a couple rooster moves this morning, putting Gabriel Murphy on IR designated for return. TJ Hockenson remains on the PUP. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section below. You guys know the best you know what to do. Skol, production value.